Hello, everybody. I think I'm live. That would be cool if I was. Just testing out another little live stream setup that I got going on. And very interested to know if it sounds good, looks good. Some updates. I'll update everyone as people arrive, hopefully. Because there's been some changes to the setup within the last couple of days. So that's fun. But maybe I'll like tweet this out. Maybe I'll tweet this one out. Just do a quick little live stream. Let's see here. Let's go to my YouTube studio for the NerdSync Sidekick channel, because I don't see anyone. It says there's like 4 people here, so that's cool. But nobody's commenting anything. Oh no. Yeah, I get it. Can I just later date, I guess? Streaming software, just let me do my thing. Another test stream, yes. All right, let me see this. Sounds good. Include Mark Thompson is here. Hey, thanks, man. I'm just gonna hit copy. Maybe I'll tweet this one out. Doing a test live stream. Come hang for like 20 minutes. Pew. That should be good. All right. This looks fun to me. Stream sync, let's go. Yeah. So, a couple things. If anyone was here previously when I did the other test live stream a couple days ago, you will remember that I was really close to the camera. I was like, or even closer. I think I was, if I could, where's my camera settings? Zoom and pan. I think I was even like this close. Yeah, somewhere around here. Because I was using a Canon 50mm lens on a micro four thirds sensor. So that basically means that it was 70mm, very close. It might have even been closer than this. It might have been like this close. But now, boo! I've got this now. This is a Sigma 16mm 1.4. I wasn't using, I think I said I was using a Canon 50mm. I was using a Canon 35, which on a micro four thirds is like a 70. So, much closer than this is. It was like this close. Now it's this close. So, both good. This is a 4K camera though, but I'm streaming at 1080. Hopefully it looks good. I would like it if it did. Where be the chat at? More people should be in the chat. I wanna talk to you all and test some things. But yeah, hopefully it looks good. I also had a much more crunchy sort of image before, and I can probably change that in my camera settings real quick. Yeah, I can't do it on the computer, but where was it here? So this was about what I had before. It's way too much. Way too much. I'm going to turn the saturation down, and I'm going to turn the contrast down. That's a little better, but I still think it's too much. So I like I don't know. I like the more flat image, which is this one. I think it's more chill. I think it's just a little more calm. I'm not like a pro gamer, like everything's crunchy and very contrasty. It's very flat and I kind of like it though. What are your thoughts? Tell me which one you like more. I also feel like I can do black and white. This is serious, guys. This is serious live stream. So it was like this before, which is like, all right, this is punchy, it's contrasty, it's kind of nice, but I don't know, something about like, I've always had issues with the skin tones of this camera. It makes me look a little like yellowed in some areas. I just also do have like a more naturally sort of yellow skin tone. You can see I feel like my hands here look quite yellow, but maybe that's just my monitor. I don't know. You tell me how it looks. But historically I've had problems. I like the flatter look. I think it looks neat. And I finally have my boom arm so I can get the microphone closer. That's always good. And I've moved the camera so it's a little bit more in the middle of my computer. Before it was like, I don't know, all the way over there. I've made the lights a little brighter. Obviously, I'm streaming during daytime now instead of nighttime, so lots of different changes. But yeah, let's see. Jay says, looks good either way. Cool, I appreciate that. Thank you. Metal Gear John says, looking stunning. I like it. This is the most boring live stream. The first one looks cinematic. The second one looks normal for a stream. But which one is this one? Is this the first or the second one? I like this one. This one looks kind of flat, kind of calm. Which matches more of my energy level. My energy level is never like, whoa, look at that happening on a thing that we just did. You know, I'm more like, hey everyone, how's it going? How's your day today? Hope there's like some sort of market for those kinds of streamers, because I definitely feel like a lot of streamer energy is like, whoa, and I'm sitting here like, hey, how's it going? Let's look at that. Let's look at what's going on. Simply Emily. That's an interesting way to spell Emily. I'm liking how this looks. Thank you. Hey, cutie. This one is the best, says Luca. This is second. You like this one. So again, going back for those who were not here, this is how like I had set it up. It's actually I had it set up even differently. I like punched up this is about how I had it set up last time. Much more contrasty in camera. But I like this. I know it's like, it's not as punchy and in your face. It's not as contrasty, not as saturated, but I like it. I'm sorry I'm rambling. I can also change this just a little bit in the streaming app I'm using. Let's make it incredibly saturated. Perfect. That's all we need. And we're also going to make it really dark. And we're going to change the gamma so it's like this. And we're going to change the temperature so it's blue. And we're going to change the tint so it's green like the Hulk. And this is our streaming setup. And I think this looks pretty good. In fact, if everyone else doesn't do this, then they're not a real streamer. They're not a real pro gamer. This is the look. This is the look these days. You have to be green. Everyone knows this. I'll reset it. There we go. I just think it looks like calm and chill. It's nice. I've done no changes. I can boost the contrast a little bit if we need it, and maybe raise the brightness here. What's this at? 8 brightness and like 20 contrast. So that versus that. maybe that's a little better. Yeah, if I just, we'll maybe make it like 10 contrast and like 4 brightness. Maybe that doesn't look too bad. But I do just sort of like the flatter look, personally. Just do that the entire stream and never address it. So you might be wondering, if you're here, why am I continuing to test out streams over the past couple days? Well, number one, it's because I'm in a brand new space. This is my apartment, and I've never really had anything to stream from in here. So I have a brand new desk, a brand new lens on this camera, a brand new lighting setup, so much different stuff. And I have just been wanting to stream more. There's also, I have a big streaming event coming up potentially that I haven't talked about just yet, but you could probably guess. And I just want to stream more. I think streaming is fun. I like it. I like being able to have all this stuff set up, this good camera, this lighting, this microphone, and just being able to hit stream and talk with people. I think it's fun. It's a little too white heavy now, but not a big deal regardless. Because I think in my camera, let's go back. My camera says it's even underexposed right now. Oops, I lost focus a little bit there. There we go. Yeah, my camera says I'm a little underexposed, so I could even turn up my light a little more. Turn the saturation back down. We can turn the contrast back up. "10 brightness, 10 contrast." Just to add something. Maybe a little bit of saturation, not a whole lot. That doesn't look terrible. That's like right in the middle of those two options. But again, I don't know, something about this is kind of fun. I'm sorry, I'm flip-flopping. Maybe I'll just let's turn up saturation just a smidge, and otherwise leave everything relatively flat. It's definitely not underexposed. It's two to third stop over. It's telling me the exact opposite of what you're saying. My camera's telling me that it is quite underexposed. A couple stops, actually. And that might just be my face. That is maybe a little... It's definitely not overexposed, because I have zebras turned on my camera and nothing's doing that. But let's see. I like to have the blue light filter on max on my devices because it makes stuff look warm, but I'm just weird. I do have some... I can make this look nice and warm. Warm. Very cozy. If I was like streaming at night, I would probably do this, but for now, we're doing that. Mopey's here. Hello, says Mopey. I want to fix these like when the comments are too short. It doesn't reach all the way to the edge. I don't know why. I actually did think it was a little underexposed, but I like it. It's fine now too. Yeah, I think it's a smidge underexposed, but I don't hate it. I typically underexpose my shots anyway. When I'm filming stuff. And I mean, even just if you like go through and watch my videos, I will take that RGB curve and I will take the highlight and I'll just like bend it down so that the whites never get white. Your face is like glowing. It's not clipping, but it's pretty close. Is the reason it's glowing because I have a black pro mist filter on the lens? Because I do that with everything as well. I think if the complaint is that it's glowing, it's because I just have a lens on the camera that does that. It's not the lighting. But I like the way it looks. I like the way it softens everything and makes things glow. I've been using a black pro mist filter on my camera since the Bob Ross video, at the very least. Just because I wanted that specific sort of old school glowy look on my footage. I like the way it looks. So I put it on everything. Every single lens I've ever shot with since the Bob Ross thing has always been had a black pro mist filter on it. A quarter strength, though. Never go past a quarter. I think we tried filming something with a half strength black pro mist once, and it did not go well. It was like it was like a dream sequence. Your skin is glowing. Thank you. Yeah, I like these filters. Yeah, I just recently bought a Pro Mist 2. I suspect you had one on. Yeah, I have both a 1/8 strength and 1/4 strength, but I find myself always leaning towards the quarter strength. We tried filming with a half strength, but we did a half strength Pro Mist, not a half strength black Pro Mist. And those have very different qualities. So the half strength Pro Mist was like really strong. We used it once and we were like, out of here. Can't use this one ever again. Unless you're looking for a specific effect. I know that Patrick Willems, we've talked privately, or I think even publicly, about Pro Mist filters, and he says he has a quarter strength or an 1/8 strength, and also a full 1 strength for like very different sorts of effects. I think that's a cool idea too. Having one that's like quite strong, just to have very different strengths of filters that you can use. Mark Thompson, I'm glad you're finally using the Sidekick channel again. Yeah, mostly just for test streams. You're going to be seeing a lot of this angle, a lot of this camera angle for the next couple of months. This is where I'm going to film my videos. Basically, I'm just going to film my videos in front of right here at my desk. I've got a camera set up. I've got a light set up. Everything is right here. And maybe I'll move around the apartment more, but I don't have like a set or an office anymore to film stuff at, like I've been doing for the past couple years. So it's just going to be from my apartment now. No, we don't have a second bedroom. This is a 1-bedroom apartment. I have no second bedroom for an office or a set. So this is it. This is what we got. And, hopefully it's good. We have also hardwood floors and tall ceilings and basically nothing on our walls. So hopefully the sound is okay. I know there's a bit of an echo when I get a little loud. But otherwise it's good. Yeah, the Black Pro Mist is much better. I think the Black Pro Mist, I believe, has become, whereas the Pro Mist was an industry standard for a while, the Black Pro Mist, I think, has definitely taken over that. The glows are, the halation, I should say, from those are a lot more subtle and nuanced in a way. They're not as bright. And I think it just adds to the overall sort of effect to it. There's also birds outside. I don't know if you can hear them. One of our neighbors put up a bird feeder on the fire escape, and so it's just been attracting lots of birds. Hopefully they'll go away once the weather starts to cool down. Maybe they'll fly south and whatnot, but we shall see. Sound quality is good. Thank you. Sounds fine. Desk videos kind of give me a Sabrina/Nerdy and Quirky vibe. Well, hopefully they still look good. Again, this is another reason why I wanted to test this streaming setup, just to see if it looks good. I think it looks pretty good. I have next to no complaints from this setup. I think it looks nice. I like the very washed out sort of flat look. That's just sort of my vibe. I like it a lot. Focus could be a little tighter. Let's see if I can change that. It's hard to tell. I wish I had a remote to get focus on. I have to keep reaching, and I feel like that changes my sort of line it up exactly with my eyeball. But I think it's fine. This is as I said before, if you were interested, the lens I'm using right now is a Sigma 16 millimeter 1.4 for micro four thirds, and the camera is a Lumix G7. So quite a budget 4K camera. With a really nice lens. I like this. I just got this lens in today, but I like it a lot. It's not at the full 1.4. It's at 3.5, just so I can hopefully increase the sharpness of it. Although I did read that even at 1.4 it is quite sharp, which is wild. Yeah, so I've seen these. There's a cheaper alternative to the Black Promise called the Cinebloom. I like that too. I've looked into these. They're, at least for the sizes that I was looking at, they're not that much cheaper. And so for me, when I started getting these, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do. Plus, there are comparison videos online, and as with everything that gives you a certain style, like these filters do, neither one is like objectively better or worse than the other one. They just give you different effects. They're not like the Cinebloom stuff is not exactly the same as the Black Pro Mist filters. So it just depends on the quality of the halation you want. And just from comparisons online, visual comparisons between the Cinebloom and the Black Pro Mist filters, my eyes and my sort of visual style really leaned towards like, I'll pay a little extra money because the Black Pro Mist looks real good. Let's see. Do you have gear acquisition syndrome? Once I got into photography as a hobby, I just become obsessed with getting better lenses and cameras and filters and stuff. Kind of. I don't really have, I like getting gear that makes things more efficient or helps with, helps in some ways. Like, for example, this desk that I have is a standing desk, and it's great, but it is quite small. And so a lot of the gear I've been buying is not camera gear really. It's mounting gear so that I can mount all of my monitors and the camera and the lights and the arm and everything to the desk and still have a lot of space, so that my desk isn't just full of stuff. So that has been lots of little purchases that have been adding up as I've been sort of decking out this desk, and I still am not fully happy with everything, and I'm still waiting on a couple things. I haven't mounted the monitor yet that I'm looking at, so that'll be fun to do as well once I get that going. Other little things I've mounted. So this microphone is good. This is so boring to people who don't care about gear. But other things that I've done is this microphone is going through to a Scarlett Solo and into the computer, and I've mounted it under the desk so that I don't have stuff on the desk. Again, that's sort of my goal, is to try and keep the desk quite clean and cable free. So I've mounted it under the desk so I can still access all the knobs that I need, so I can make myself quieter, louder, all that stuff. Just from here, so I don't have to like reach across the desk and hit up some knobs. But this comes at the cost of the XLR cable sticking straight out from the microphone. So I was looking at getting a 90-degree XLR cable to have it more face downwards and kind of go under the desk rather than stick out of the desk, which I think would be fun. But that has proven a bit of a challenge in and of itself, because XLR cables are not reversible. So many of the ones that I found want the cable to go upwards. Like when you plug it in the right way, it would end up going upwards. And like, that's not what I want. I want one to go downwards. So just finding one that works has been a bit of a challenge, but I think I got it. A lot of different mounting gear, monitor mounts, camera mounts. The reason I got this camera or this lens again is because I was recently using a 35 millimeter, which on a micro four thirds camera makes it a 70 millimeter, which basically meant that I was live streaming the other day looking like this. I was like real up close. And if I want to film videos from here, which I do, I need a little bit more room than that. I think it was even closer than this. I keep saying that, but I do think it was like, you can go watch the stream, but I think it was like there. I think it was like that close. That's how close it was. So I got the 16 millimeter and now I have a lot more room, which is great. Let's see. I'm missing the chat here. Sorry for being a camera nerd, but what picture profile do you use? Honestly, I just use the natural profile. I was using Cine D for a bit, but I find this is the natural profile with a couple other tweaks turned on. Mostly I turned sharpening off because I don't like in-camera sharpening. Plus, again, I'm using a filter on it to make everything softer anyway, so it doesn't super matter. This past year, I was using a different camera. I was using the Panasonic S5, and I was using the Vlog picture profile. So all of my stuff was extremely flat, and don't have that camera anymore. I would love to get access to it again, or just get my own. The one I was using was from SCB, and I would love to get my own now and set that up here. But I think that's for the future. I'm gonna just try and work with this camera again. I mean, I've been using this camera since around 2016 anyway. It was really only this past year when I changed over. So everything I filmed from 2016 to all the way through 2020 was on this camera. And I don't know. I like the natural profile. It's flat enough that I can add tweaks to it in post, but it still retains a lot of, I think a lot of, again, this is so boring for people who don't care about this sort of stuff, but I think the reason I have problems with things like Cine D is just the colors. I was also, when I was doing the Panasonic S5 shooting on Vlog, I was shooting in 10-bit color so that even though it was flat, I still had all that color information. I feel like when you're doing 8-bit color, filming in a flat profile, I feel like you lose a lot when lose a lot of colors when you're shooting. And so I don't know. I just try to keep everything fairly natural, a little flat so I can tweak it in post, but not super flat. That's sort of what I do. Let me see if I can change over to the Cine D profile here, so everyone who doesn't know can sort of see the difference. I can't go back and forward to it. Yeah, so this is the Cine D profile. You can see a lot. I don't know. It has a very weird effect where some of the more shadowy areas are a bit more grayed out to try and reserve some information there. But again, the colors just look a little off to me. I don't know if that's me. This is flat out of the camera, so I have not made any adjustments to contrast, saturation, sharpness, or noise reduction. This is just as everything's set to 0. I don't know. I don't super like it. I can see why people might like it for helping retain some information in the shadows. But again, even just the top of my head looks like gray to me. I don't know. I don't like it. So I just tend to go natural. It looks a little bit better to me, in my opinion. Vlog is overkill 90% of the time. I know it's overkill, but I love it. I love filming YouTube videos in Vlog 10-bit color 4K. It's the best. And I'm not even that's small compared to what other YouTubers do, especially in the tech space where they'll film things on they'll film raw video, 10-bit raw Vlog. It's come on. You don't need that for a YouTube video. I know that I don't need that for a YouTube video, but I want it. But it just gives you more flexibility in post to do to do stuff, which has helped me personally, like a handful of times, but not a lot, if I'm being honest. Yeah, standing desk, I believe you mean to say, is good for your back. So there's that. Yeah, let's see what happens. I can also use this since the camera's mounted to it. I can use it as a little, as a little, sort of jib, I suppose. Here, let me get my. Hello. I have a little standing mat. Bum, bum, bum. Get that going. And now we're standing. And this is the standing portion of the video, I suppose. Let me move this mat out a little further. I got to ask this company how much... Focus on me again. I need to ask this company who makes the desk how much weight it's rated for, because I put a lot of stuff on here. It's so heavy. It still works good. It's just sometimes the sound of it is like... I'm like... Did I put too much weight on it? Boy. Lovely camera, Scott. Very good mic. You have as well. How exciting. Yeah. This is the Rode Pod mic. I have a Shure SM7B somewhere. I haven't found it yet. But I used to use it for everything. This sounds good though. And again, it's running through a Scarlett Solo. Woo. Got a text from my computer was like, notification sound. I'm like, ah. Let's do that. Sorry, I'm just responding to some texts. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. So this is the Rode Pod mic, and it's going through the Scarlett Solo with the air filter turned on. You can hear it, the difference. This is with it on. This is with it off. It sounds a little bit more muddied and in the middle, in the mids and the lows a little bit. And having that air filter on really adds that articulation, which you can hear right now. And it's back. And it just sounds a little bit more full, a little bit more in the high end. I like it a lot for my voice. Obviously, everything is dependent on the person's voice. But this doesn't look too bad, right? This whole setup, I think it looks great. I could definitely film videos here. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a cool setup. I like the way everything looks. I like my lens. I like the filter on it. I like the audio. It's cool. Yeah, Marquez Brownlee shoots on an 8K red cinema camera. It's crazy red. This is the thing with tech YouTubers, right? Everyone always says that, like, when you're starting on YouTube, don't stress about the gear. Don't worry about getting the best camera. Don't worry about, doing all of that. Just start with your phone, start with whatever, and just get started. The problem with tech YouTube specifically is that no one will take you seriously unless you actually do have those things. And because there's like this incredible escalation of what tech YouTubers are using, like 8K cinema cameras to film reviews of smartphones, it's like... it becomes much harder to become a brand new tech channel unless you have a lot of money to throw at the gear up front. I think anyway. Like if I wanted to start a tech YouTube channel this year, thankfully I feel like I could based off of the gear that I have. But if I wanted to start one back in the day when I was just starting doing YouTube stuff, absolutely not. My first YouTube videos were filmed in the built-in webcam of my camera. Like they were 480p at best. And so I think, I don't know. I think it's hard to for new people to emerge in that space. Not impossible. It's definitely hard though. Those are my thoughts on tech. Those are my unsolicited thoughts on tech YouTube. I like a lot of tech YouTube. I love MKBHD. I like a lot of the I don't watch a lot of Linus Tech Tips, but I do watch some of the associated channels MAC address, short circuit, those things. I like those potentially a little bit better. I don't know why. I just do. And a bunch of others. You know how it is. Let's see. Looks good. You need a Scooby-Doo poster behind me. That thing, my camera's reversed. That thing right there on the couch that's all wrapped up in like some moving packing paper. That's my Bob Ross painting. We need to figure out where to put that. I think we're going to put it right above my desk so that I can see it, and even though you guys can't see it. And then we're also going to hang the collage up probably right next to it as well. Get a whole bunch of... My channel is just an art channel now, basically. I'm just like... Yeah. I just make art. That's fun. Yeah, both of them started with 480. Yeah, and I mean, they started ages ago, right? And I think that's what makes it hard to get started on tech YouTube now, is because back when they were starting with 480 tape recorders, that was like kind of okay. And there wasn't a lot of people in that space who were like, no one back in the day, no one was in those times. Nobody was filming with 4K. 4K consumer level cameras were not a thing, let alone 8K. 1080 stuff was even harder to come by, very cost prohibitive. But I think these days, because there's been that extreme escalation, I think it's much harder. People sort of expect a tech YouTube channel to have a certain look about it. And that look just basically means it has to be really crisp. It has to be real clean. It has to be real high quality. I think anyway. Now, that being said, I do watch some tech YouTube stuff that is, it's not that to that production level. But I do think if you want to like compete in that space, so to speak, it's hard to do that without throwing a lot of money at gear. And if you don't have that money, then it's hard. But yeah. Am I manually picking the messages on screen? I am. This is how I'm getting better at live streaming. I can throw the messages on screen. I can do all sorts of stuff. I could share my screen if I wanted to. I can throw an interview up there. I can make myself get real close and give you a real stern talking to, mister. And what else? What else could I do? I have a green screen set up. I don't have it set up. I have a green screen, and in the future I will probably use that for some fun reason. But for right now, I'm liking this view. Yes, Starpunk, new lens, absolutely. This is the Sigma 16mm 1.4 we were talking about the other day. I think it looks great. As I said, it's not wide open. It is, I believe, at 3.5 right now, or 3.2. Let me double check here. Oops. Yeah, 3.5. So, should be relatively sharp. I can open it up further. I know that I'm slightly underexposed. Oops. This way. So this would be what I would consider potentially a little too bright. My camera still calls it underexposed. If I go to where my camera says it's perfect, that's a 2.8. That's too bright to me. That's too bright. I like it right around there at 3.5. I think that looks good. Please stop going close. No. I will go close whenever I feel like it. Thank you. But yeah. So that's that. I have a Be Right Back screen, like so. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm liking the way that this looks. Your camera is lying to you. I know. Yeah, it says I'm about one. Right now it says I'm, about a full stop underexposed. But I think this looks fine. My camera's telling me. It's like, yeah, now it's like between, it's like in between like 3/4 and a full stop underexposed. It keeps jumping between. But I think it looks fine. Unless the reason, oh, sorry, I should put these on screen. Unless the reason is that it's expecting you to edit how it looks in post, which would make sense. I think maybe, I mean, again, this is a more flat, natural profile. If I put it to the one, sorry, I can only edit the picture profile manually on the camera. If I put it to hello, if I put it to that again, right? So this is vivid, all right? So this isn't even standard. I've been doing natural. This is vivid. This is like a little too punchy, a little too contrasty for me. But you can see it is dark. Like there are definitely bright areas on my face, but it is quite dark, especially like the shirts and the shadows and things like that. So I get why it would think that it's maybe a little underexposed, but not as much as it actually is. This is the standard one, and this looks overexposed to me. My face is way too bright. That being said, the contrast is turned up to +5, so let's turn that down. I don't know why I did that. We're going to zero everything out. All right, this is the standard picture profile. That doesn't look too bad. Colors are, again, a little wonky for me, maybe. No, they're evening out. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. This is standard. Doesn't look too bad. But again, doesn't look under or overexposed. I think it looks pretty balanced on standard. But I've been doing natural, which is a little bit flatter. I don't know. I'm sure more people would want standard. But I like natural better. You can't tell me what to do. I like the flat look. It looks good. It looks chill. It looks cozy. Anyway. How long have I been streaming for? I meant to only stream for like 20 minutes. It's been 42 minutes. Yeah, let's see. Absolutely not underexposed. The shadows are clearly visible and it's not blown out. I agree. With this anyway, this is the back to what I was at, the natural profile. I agree. It's definitely not underexposed like my camera keeps insisting that it is. You should make food videos with Emily and put them on this channel. I used to love the food stuff you put on Instagram. Yeah, Emily and I we're trying to make some sort of content together, some sort of art, I should say. I said content and I put art in quote. It should have been the other way around. I'm not practicing what I preach here. Anyway. Oh wait, metering. I ignore that all the time unless I'm shooting film. Yeah, I think the metering on the S5 that I was using was a little better. But even still, I definitely, when I put stuff into Premiere, it always it's absolutely underexposed. And I'm like, why do I do that to myself? I always have to turn the exposure up and then, yeah, I don't know. It's not great. But I like this picture profile. I have the sharpness turned down all the way to -5 just because I tend to not like in-camera sharpening, but for live streaming it might be useful. So now it's back at 0, which I think for live streaming is helpful because normally I would do sharpening in post. I cannot do sharpening in post on a live stream. So I've turned the sharpness up to 0 instead of -5. Hope that's maybe a little bit better. I think it is. Even though I don't super love in body sharpening. I will do it for the live stream. I'll do it for the Vine. Yeah, the lighting in the back is throwing some of these settings off, potentially. How's the color balance look? This camera has never, ever, ever given me a good white balance. I have to really finesse it manually, get in there with color temperatures and tint offsets and things like that. If I do the thing where you hold a piece of paper up and take a picture, it always comes back real bad, and I don't know why. So I've always had to do it manually and just sort of hope for the best. It's hard because my computer monitor and the camera monitor are showing me two different things. The camera monitor is showing me maybe it's a little too magenta, but the computer monitor is showing me that it looks pretty good. So hard to know. What should we expect from the next video? I'm going to talk about Scooby-Doo a whole lot. It's Scoobtober. First day of Scoobtober today. It's going to be fun. And there's going to be a brand deal from the company that sent me this desk. Because I needed this desk. And they were like, we'll send you a desk. And I was like, cool. So expect that. In honor of Scoobtober, what's the best Scooby-Doo series to watch? My favorite to watch, period, is A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. It's the only series I have rewatched probably ever. I mean, I've rewatched a lot of classic Where Are You? But A Pup Named Scooby-Doo is the only one I've like binged watched over and over again. I love Mystery Incorporated. If you've not seen that show, absolutely watch that show. But it's not a series that I'm like wanting to go back to. Not because it's bad. It's amazing. It's just not as comforting as A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. It's a little bit more serious. It's a little bit more hard to follow if you're just watching it in the background because there is an ongoing plot for the whole series, which makes it great. But it's not something that I can watch by throwing it in the background the same way that I could A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. Definitely not too magenta. Cool, that's good to know. If it's leaning any way at all, I'd say it'd be leaning warm and magenta, but I'm not seeing any tint or warmth. Cool. Yeah, my computer monitor, and maybe that's just because it's also flat. I don't really know. It's probably flattening out any sorts of colors. I think it looks good, but again, it's just through a lot of manual adjustments of like changing the color temperature of the camera and changing the sort of tint offset, because every time I do this thing, it makes me look, let me just simulate what it makes me look like. It makes me look like this, just about this. And I'm like, that's not white balanced, camera. You can't make me look all green and warm like that. That's not how it should look. It should look a little, more like this. I don't mind the warmth though. It might be a little too blue on my end. I didn't mind that extra warmth. Maybe that's a bit too much. Oh well, that's fine. We're gonna leave it like that. This is how it's been the whole time. I kind of like it as is. It's a little bit more balanced. I think anyway. Definitely not like in camera. This is perfectly balanced, Scott. Get out of here. A pup named Scubbert Dubbert. That's correct. Glad you liked that. Mystery Inc. I thought that was a 1963 title. Mystery Incorporated, the show came out a couple of years back. I had 2 seasons. Definitely came out, I think, around the 2015 to 2018 era. I think somewhere in there was Mystery Incorporated. So it's a very relatively new show. I like that show a lot. Are you doing that in Premiere or in camera? The adjustments that I was making, I'm doing that in Ecamm, which is my live streaming software. If you're talking about white balancing, I'm doing that in camera, and that's why it's making it really bad. I can get it close and do it in, you can see, I love these little filters. You can see that little paper glow a little bit in the light when I put it right up to the light. Look how glowy it is compared to the background. I just love the way these look. Anyway, I've been doing the white balance in camera. I try anyway. I do the thing where you hold it up and like take a picture. It's real bad in camera. I've not actually tried doing it in Premiere. Maybe that will be better. But my camera in general, you know how they say to get it as close to how you want it to look in camera and then do color grading and stuff in post. I try to get it close to what I want to look like in camera, but just the white balance part of the camera is just so bad. So bad. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. 2012 to 2014, I missed it entirely. I was like, 2015 sounds right. I think I just watched it around the between 2017 and 2018 is when I binged it all. Fantastic show. Again, have no desire to go back to it. Let me make sure I'm focused here again. Cool. Pro mists are so good. I agree. Look at this piece of paper, how it glows. That halation is so nice. Anything like that where you get a little... Let me see if I can find something that might have a bit more of a shine to it. Yeah, hold on. I got a little jar lid, and if I get the reflection just right... Look at that. Oh, I love the way these filters look. They make just everything glow. They're so cinematic. Everything is cinematic when you make it look like glowy and cool. I've only watched the first episode, but now I think about not sleeping tonight and binge watching it. If you're talking about Mystery Incorporated, is great. I think it takes a bit to really get in there, and set up the whole plot. I mean, they definitely start establishing a mystery early on, but once you start understanding what's happening, it goes wild. There's some cat hair on this. Yeah, isn't that cool? Aren't these filters cool? This is why I wanted it for the Bob Ross video. It was the first video I filmed with the Black Pro Mist. So when I hold up the brushes and the palette knife and even just wore a bright white shirt under some bright lights, everything would glow like it was filmed on, old tapes. All of Bob's videos glue like that. What was the shirt Marlon Brando was wearing in Superman? I think it's just the film. So again, probably super duper white. But the reason why people would use a filter like this on a digital camera is to emulate film cameras. Star in the chat knows more about this than I do because they actually shoot with film. I do not. I'm fully digital. I've never actually shot anything with film. That's. I just emulate it. I pretend I do by throwing a filter on it to make it look like it's, the way that light interacts on film stock. Where did the other... Close enough. I forgot where I put the jar. That jar lid came from... Oh, it's right in front of me. There we go. This is a spoiler, but yes. What would you say is the quintessential Scooby episode / movie that gives the true essence of Scooby? I mean, this is going to sound cliche, but it's for sure Zombie Island. I think because it gives you an entire rundown of what the gang's life is like, catching monsters that turn out to be people and having them do that so much that they sort of grow their own separate ways and then reunite to try and really find if monsters exist and then coming to face with real monsters. I think this is the best. This is the best Scooby representation. That being said, I do have favorite episodes of the different cartoons, which I will talk more about in future videos. So look forward to that this year, this month, Scoobtober. It'll be fun. Filter expensive, painful, outdated, unmentioned technology. Same thing, really. Yeah, I like these filters a lot. They're good. I've been rewatching Scooby-Doo. Where are you all? I work. I'll have to check out Mystery Inc. next. Yeah, again, I would say Mystery Inc. is probably hard to binge watch in the background. That's just my personal opinion of it. My personal hot take. I think it's great. if you pay attention to it, because there's a big 2-season long mystery that unravels in a whole story arc. But yeah. I want to emulate it. I get that. I film videos on old analog camera lenses, and I'm a nobody. Yeah, I mean, before this lens that I just got in literally today, I was doing vintage Canon lenses, 35 millimeter, 50 millimeter. I needed something that was a little bit wider. That's why I got this. I love the way this lens looks. I think it looks great. I was worried at such a small, 60 millimeters I don't know. For some reason, I was very worried about a lot of distortion and sort of like fisheye sort of stuff. But no, I think it looks great. Favorite Scooby-Doo intro theme. This is going to get real repetitive, but it's Pup Named Scooby-Doo. I love that show. I think it has the best Scooby-Doo intro theme. That being said, what's new Scooby-Doo? Real close second. Any given day, it would flip-flop between those two. Yeah, mine has to be what's new Scooby-Doo intro because it just wakes up my pop punk phase. Absolutely. Very, very good. 100%. I'm sad that Scooby-Doo and Guess Who doesn't really have a big theme song. It's just sort of just taken into it. Oh, well. I've been having the What's New intro opening run through my head for the past 2 days, and now so do you. It's a good one. What's new, Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. We're gonna solve that mystery. You gotta give that like pop punk sort of like sort of like nasaliness to it. It's the only way to do it. Yeah, so I definitely watched Scooby as a kid, but I was never super invested. But your Scooby-Doo video on switching the canon of the two movies had me insanely invested. Amazing work. Thank you. I like that video a lot. Scott's cover of the Pup Named Scooby-Doo is pretty good too. I did a cover that mashed up all of them. Where Are You? What's New? Pup Named Scooby-Doo. A little bit of Mystery Incorporated. That one doesn't have lyrics to it, but there's a little riff in my cover that has that in it. And also is it just called the new Scooby-Doo show? I can't remember. There's an era of Scooby-Doo where it just they just keep changing the names of the shows over and over again. It's the one that goes, give me a second. Hang around for Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's that one. I can't remember any other line from that one. So come along, it's mystery time. You can help us solve the crime. That's Pup Named Scooby-Doo. I like that one. I got my eye on a 15mm vintage lens, and it does warp around the edges, but in such a good way. That's the thing we always say about film and audio and all these sorts of equipment is nothing is really objectively better or worse. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So there can be lenses out there that have, a lot of distortion, but if that distortion is what you're looking for, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It can be a really good thing. Fave cartoon that isn't Scooby. If you're talking about if cartoon involves movies as well, then it's Kiki's Delivery Service. I like that one a lot. And if cartoon can be, also encapsulate anime, then that as well. Sparta's messing with my other cat, Punky. We've got it all together for a brand new Scooby. Yeah. Come on, get involved till the mystery is solved. Hang around for Scooby-Doo. That's the one I'm thinking of. I like that one a lot. Yeah, and then Casey Kasem has his own line in there, too. It's all good. Anyway, I should probably go. I'm only meant to live stream for like 15 to 20 minutes, but then I started talking forever. I really like live streaming. It's a lot of fun, and I hope to do it more in the future. Either here, probably not here. I'll probably try to do it on the main channel more. But I should get going. Thanks everyone for joining. I do have a lot of work to do, and I'm partly procrastinating, but you helped me figure out a lot more camera stuff and get more stuff set up, which I do appreciate. Thank you. Here I am up close, very close. Can I get closer? Absolutely I can. Thank you for joining me on this fun adventure, everybody. And I hope you have a good day. Oh, what is on my eye? Anything? I just feel that's no good. All right, it's gone now. Thank you for letting me use you as a mirror just now. A black mirror. What?